Okay. Raising children or just a child is the hardest thing to do. But I would say raising a young black boy in America is probably one of the hardest. I didn't say the hardest. I'm sure other people can make their own debates. There's a lot of things going on in the world, not just in America, in terms of war, drugs, and all the other negative things. But I would say raising a young black boy in the United States is up there. Okay. What I noticed, in regards to being effective, is you have to understand that you have to start at an early age in terms of letting them understand the bullshit. If they're exposed to it at an early age, you have to start letting them know how to spot it at an early age. Kids are a whole lot smarter than we want to give them credit for. I've had 5-year-olds ask me, "Are you married?" And I say no. And they say, "Oh, okay." And they asked me because I had a ring on, okay? And they asked, it wasn't even on the ring finger, but the whole fact that they can connect me wearing a ring to possibly being married was, to me it was mind-boggling. Why would you think to ask that question? I just learned 4 years ago to look at a woman's hands to see, if she has a wedding ring on, and this 5-year-old is already asking me this question. Okay, and what I'm trying to say is they're a whole lot more advanced. They can't necessarily comprehend what they're hearing, but they're exposed to it. So if you give a child a set of negative behaviors, they will copy it. Do they know what it means? Of course not. Right? But if you give them a set of positive behaviors, they will imitate those as well. Will they understand what it means? Maybe not till later, but I'd rather have somebody practice the right steps and not know what it means, as opposed to them practicing the wrong steps and not knowing what it means. So you have to start early. They can understand a whole lot more than we give them credit for. If you just look at TV and watch TV with your kid or your children, you'll realize what they're being exposed to. Right, I grew up where cable was optional. Now everybody has cable. It's more so about, do you have premium cable? So children are exposed to a whole lot more. Even their basic cartoons are exposing them to stuff that, I wasn't necessarily exposed to. Okay, and they pick up on it. So if you have a young black boy, I think you have to start from an early age helping him understand the BS. Getting him to see what is right versus what is wrong. Next, and this is related, they have to understand that their life is going to have certain challenges. It is what it is. They have to understand that, unfortunately, the world may not understand you. And other younger black men in your age group won't understand you either. So the journey will be hard. I think that's important. I know some people will feel like, that's too much for a child, or maybe, a preteen or a teen to understand. But I think they need to hear it. I think they have to understand. Because part of us understand what's going on. Personally, I think a lot of young black men know that, things seem odd. Things don't seem right. But because we don't talk about it to them, what are they going to do? Go with the trend. But I think if children hear or understand that, as an adult or just an older figure, they can relate to them in terms of how they're feeling. It helps to know that, things feel difficult, but I know that other men before me have been through the same thing. They have the same sort of feelings, right? Because if you're a young black dude and you're trying to do the right thing, it's pretty lonely. Okay, you'll have black men that will put pressure on you, and the world and the American society likes to make us the bad boy. Right, they like to make us the poster child for bad behavior. Growing up, it was funny because if I knew people who wanted to do something negative, they always wanted somebody black to kind of co-sign it, to try to make it okay. Or let's go smoke some weed, or let's go do this and the third, or let's go steal from the grocery store. Right, it was almost just like, well, let me have a black guy with me because, this is something that they do. Right? But in reality, It wasn't. But because society wants to force black men into that sort of bad boy role, okay, that sort of deviant, I'm going to rebel against the established order type of role, people want to hold on to it. People want to accept you as that. You know, I got that all the time growing up. You know, a lot of the times people didn't want to accept me as somebody who was smart, somebody who's just trying to do the right thing. They wanted to accept me as somebody who would, how can I put this, reinforce their stereotypes. Right? So you got the whole, oh, where the weed at? Oh, show me how to crip walk. You know, all these other things that would help them feel okay with how they viewed black people. And you got that from everybody. You'll get it from other black men. Your child will get this from just everybody else. So you have to let them understand that the journey that they're going to go on will be hard and they won't have a lot of allies. Simply put, they won't. They won't. So you have to understand how to deal with it. Because as an adult, you can deal with it. For the most part. We can deal with the whole idea of knowing that the second we walk out of our house, most people aren't on our side. And most people can care less. And the ones that do only want to use you to reinforce their own negative stereotypes about black men. Directly or indirectly. We can deal with that. But a child, or even a preteen or a teenager, may not be able to. Right? You know, they're going through their hormonal changes and they have, you know, their issues that they're handling in terms of who am I, in terms of their self-identity, which is normal, a normal process for any person. But if they can't understand that there are men who came before them who had the same exact problem, they're going to give in. You know, when we talk about the United States, just being in the U.S., I look at younger black boys and younger Mexican boys, or Latinos, whatever you want to call it, almost the same because our paths are a little similar, right? In terms of adult life, we kind of branch out, right? And we kind of go in two separate roads. But in terms of from birth to about 18, it's almost identical, okay? And they need somebody, of course, a father, and just older men who have went through what they went through. So they can make that connection and understand, yeah, it's tough, but if they did it, so can I. Next point I want to make, you have to show them where others have failed, okay? You have to show them that the Lil Waynes and the Kanye West are literally lottery winners, okay? They're 1 out of a million. And the vast majority of people who want to be like them fail. Show them your old friends and what they're doing now. Show them. And actually show them what they can actually get when they work hard and do things the right way. You know, there's this whole idea that somehow there's no rewards to doing things the right way. You know, I tell kids all the time, college is the most fun you can have. It's the most fun you can have. Right? You know, they don't see the benefits of hard work. Right? And I try to tell them, yeah, college is hard, but I try to sell them on the whole idea that it's fun, that there's some reward. It's not as bad. Doing the right thing sucks, but there is rewards if you do things properly. And a great way to do that is to use the whole situation that Willie P kind of elaborated on about the whole Cribs thing. You know, tell them, watch Cribs. Yeah, they may have some NFL player, but look at all the other houses. Do you think that they're living next to other NFL players or just regular ass people? And ask yourself how they got there. So you have to challenge them mentally. Let them know that, yo, don't be fooled by what Kanye West says in The College Dropout or what Lil Wayne and all those other people say. Right? Don't be, you know, fooled by that. What else? Don't blur the lines. What do I mean? Growing up, I had a Hispanic friend, okay, Mexican. His father never let him remotely resemble that gang cholo culture. Never. Never. Even if it was cool, even if it went with a trend, he never blurred the lines. You know, unfortunately, you have a lot of black boys who Maybe it's because of the single mother or just their surroundings where mom and dad know what they're supposed to be, the kid is supposed to be doing, but they let them blur the line. So they let them kind of, it's cool, it's trendy. Don't let them do that. They have to understand that those aren't you. You're doing yourself, right? Those people don't represent you. You might as well call yourself something different. The difference between a black man and a nigga. That's what they have to get. And it might seem harsh and severe, but it's the truth. So don't let your son act like a nigga if you want him to be a man. He'll be a man straightforward. There's no crossing the line between black man and nigga. None of that whatsoever. You have to cut that off. If he doesn't like it, then he doesn't like it. But if you do your job properly, he'll see why he doesn't want to be labeled as a nigga or even act like one. And that goes back to the whole idea of really talking to him and letting him know the reality of the situation. Now, I'll stop it here. I may do a part 2 because I feel like I have more things to say. But you guys take it easy. God bless.